that matzah is a commandment to go ahead and eat on the 7 days and the 8th day of Passover. Matzah is a food that represents our hasty departure from the land of Egypt. The Egyptians were in such a rush to get us out that we had no time to let the flour and the water rise, the dough to rise to the point where we had to flee. We had to leave, not flee, because the Egyptians sent us out immediately. And therefore, to commemorate that, we go ahead and we eat matzah as the Torah commands us during these days of Passover. The shmura matzah for both the Seder nights is that we should eat 3 times during the Seder. First, we tell the Exodus from Egypt. Each person eats at least 2 ounces of matzah. Should eat at least 2 ounces of matzah. That's about a half a matzah. The sandwich, each person eats 1 ounce of matzah. So you have a total of 2 ounces. And for the afikomen, the end of the meal, each person eats 1.5 ounces of matzah. In each instance, the matzah should be eaten within 4 minutes if we can. And we should try and have it all consumed in the course of the 4 minutes. How much is 1 ounce of matzah? How do you measure that? A half a piece of shmur matzah is generally 1 ounce. If other matzahs are used, you can calculate by dividing the weight of the box by the number of pieces that you have. In Chassidus and in Kabbalistic explanations why we eat matzah, it is to show our humility and humbleness before God. In other words, that the matzah, the dough, does not rise. What happens when dough rises? It goes ahead and becomes hot and full of air. And when something is haughty and visible and sticks out, then that reflects a concept of yeshus, of me. When we come before Hashem, before God, we have to set the I, the ego, aside, and therefore we should go ahead and eat matzah. Matzah also, the Zohar says, is food of faith. It builds the faith in a Jew, in a person, and it also goes ahead and brings health. That's what it says. Ma'akla de asvasa, ma'akla de mehem. So seemingly it's the humblest of all foods. Since we are not allowed to have chametz, leavened product in our home, and how is it that we're able to go and get rid of all of that chametz that we have? The utensils are full of chametz. There's a tremendous amount, especially if you have a large family, of chametz, cereals, etc., pasta, etc. How is it then that we're able to remove it from our domain and not eat from it? So our sages have created and explained, as it's brought down in the Talmud, the concept of mechiras chametz, of the selling of the chametz. What does that mean, the selling of the chametz? The selling of the chametz reflects the concept of that one, it's not yours. You have sold it to a non-Jewish person whose obligation is that he's allowed to have chametz in his house. But yet, it's still in your domain. And one of the commandments is that you shouldn't have it in your domain either. So you technically rent him a corner of a closet or a portion of the kitchen which is marked off with a small, minute sign that says chametz. So it's basically his domain. Those that are in real estate know that when you rent someone an apartment, it becomes his domain. And at the same time also, when you sell him the chametz that is in that rented spot, it's not yours anymore either. After Passover, it reverts back to you. God willing, Yimetz Hashem, this year there will be 4 Seders at Beis David Temple David and Young Israel and Chabad House at the University of South Florida and Tampa and Stetson College will be providing for the students. The student Seder, which will take place at the University of South Florida, will start at 5 and end at 7. Many people say they can't come and stay for a long Seder, and therefore it is also very late for them to finish the whole Seder, when our Seders usually stretch till 12 o'clock here.